What if the feeling of being lost was actually the map leading you back home? What if that deep discomfort you feel, that strange dissonance with your own life, wasn't a sign that something is wrong, but the irrefutable proof that something is finally starting to go right? We live under the tyranny of certainty, searching for solid ground in a universe that is, by its very nature, flow and vibration. We've been taught to fear the void, to fill the silence, to fix what seems broken. But the most unsettling truth, the secret pulsing just beneath the veil of consensual reality, is this. The most crucial moments of our existence aren't marked by external earthquakes, but by a deafening silence that settles within. A silence where your old self can no longer scream, and your new self only whispers. Today, we're not going to talk about how to change your life. That's the old promise. The promise of effort, of struggle, of pushing reality against its will. Today, we're going to talk about how to recognize the change that has already happened inside you. A quantum transition so profound and silent that your rational mind hasn't registered it yet, but your soul has already signed the contract. This isn't a guide to the future, it's a mirror to your now, and what you're about to see in it could and will reconfigure everything you thought you knew about yourself, about time, and about the very fabric of reality. Because you didn't arrive at this moment by accident, you were summoned. The universe waited patiently for you to be ready, not to fight, but to surrender to your own greatness. The great promise, the secret truth hidden behind every spiritual quest is this. Transformation is not an event you cause, but a resonance you finally allow. It's not about building a new version of yourself, brick by brick. It's about disintegrating the walls that prevent the version that already exists in the quantum field from manifesting in your experience. On another frequency, you are already everything you wish to be. The anguish, the anxiety, the dissatisfaction you feel. These are not symptoms of a disease. They are the homing signal from your future self, a vibration so high and pure that it makes your current reality feel out of tune, small, unbearable. It's the homesickness for a home you've never visited, but which your soul recognizes as its true origin. The invitation was sent long ago. What we're doing here, now, is just reading the terms and conditions of your inevitable ascension. It all begins on a threshold, a sacred turning point, invisible to the world's eyes. On the outside, nothing has changed. The same routine, the same streets, the same faces. But on the inside, a tectonic plate has shifted. There's a subtle, almost imperceptible feeling that the colors are different, that the air has a new density. It's a state of being that common language fails to capture. It's not happiness, it's not sadness, it's presence, an acute awareness that you are here, but also somewhere else at the same time. The outer world looks the same, but your perception of it has been irrevocably altered. It's like watching a movie for the second time. You know what's going to happen, the characters' lines, the plot's outcome, and because of that, nothing surprises you in the same way. You're in the play, but you're no longer just an actor. You have also become the audience. The universe, in its infinite intelligence, only presents us with mirrors when we're ready to see our own reflection. Before that, it gives us distractions, challenges, dramas, But when the soul reaches a certain point of maturity, the game changes. Mirrors start appearing everywhere, in a conversation with a stranger, in a line from a book, in a synchronicity that defies all logic. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. They are the universe winking at you, saying, I see you. I see who you are becoming. And it's at this point that what once brought you security begins to feel like a cage. The stable job, the comfortable relationship, the long-standing friendships, everything that defined your identity, your safe harbor, suddenly feels fragile, inadequate. This is not a sign of confusion or failure. It is the clearest sign of a successful transition. The caterpillar doesn't feel confused building its chrysalis. It feels compelled. It is responding to a call that cannot be ignored, a divine programming for its own metamorphosis. You are in the chrysalis now, and the darkness you feel is not the end. It is the womb. The call never arrives like a fanfare. It doesn't send a memo. It doesn't schedule a meeting. It comes as a whisper in the middle of the night, as an unexplainable tension in your chest during the day, as a foggy mind that refuses to focus on the trivial tasks of before. It's a deep, visceral desire to break your own rules, the unwritten rules you imposed on yourself about who you should be, what you should want, how you should behave. This restlessness is the first manifestation of the new frequency in an old system. It's the static between two radio stations. It's the sound of your soul retuning itself. Trying to ignore this call is futile. You can drown it out with work, with entertainment, with social distractions. But in the silence, when night falls and the masks come off, the call returns. And each time it returns, its presence is denser, its weight more real. It isn't aggressive. It is relentless. It is the truth. And the truth can be ignored for a while, but not forever. It waits with the patience of a mountain, knowing that eventually you'll have to stop running. You'll have to turn and face it. And in that moment of silent confrontation, you will realize you weren't running from a monster, but from your own power. The power to choose a new reality. The call isn't asking you to do something. It's asking you to be something. What you're experiencing is not simple emotional turbulence. It isn't stress or burnout in the conventional sense. It is a quantum adjustment, a timeline shift that occurs first on an energetic level before it solidifies into matter. Your being's frequency, your consciousness's vibrational signature, no longer matches your old normal. Imagine you've lived your entire life in one house. You know every room, every creak in the floor, every sliver of light that comes through the window. But one day, you wake up, and though the house seems the same, you feel bigger. Your shoulders are broader, your presence takes up more space, and suddenly, the hallways seem narrow, the ceilings low. The house didn't shrink. You expanded. This is what's happening. Your consciousness has expanded, and the old reality, built for your previous version, is beginning to dissolve. But this dissolution doesn't happen with a bang. It unravels in silence, like sugar in water. Things simply lose their emotional charge. The ambitions that once drove you become hollow. The dramas that consumed you seem distant, irrelevant. The people you once vibrated with now seem to be speaking a different language. This silent dissolution is the most disorienting part of the process, because the logical mind searches for a cause, a culprit, a catastrophe, but there isn't one. It's just quantum physics in action. Two frequencies that can no longer coexist in the same space-time. The space between the old you and the new you is not a limbo. It is a sacred space. It is the quantum vacuum, the field of all possibilities, the womb of new realities. To be in this space is to feel you no longer belong to the past, but you haven't fully arrived in the future. You are floating, and this is where the initiation truly begins. Because in this void, there is nothing to hold on to. No labels, no identities, no certainties. There is only the pure potentiality of your being. To hold yourself in this space without trying to fill it prematurely is the single greatest act of spiritual courage a human can perform. And here lies the great trap, the trap of the void. Our society has trained us to see emptiness as a problem. A blank space must be filled. Silence must be broken. Inactivity is labeled as laziness, stagnation, depression. So, when we find ourselves in this sacred space of transition, our first instinct is to run. We run back to what's familiar, even if it's painful. We try to fix relationships that have already served their purpose. We seek validation from jobs that drain our souls. We reignite old habits that keep us small. We try to fix what isn't broken. The old life isn't broken. It's complete. The course has been finished. Trying to go back is like a university graduate trying to re-enroll in kindergarten. It makes no sense. Being in the void is not the end of the line. It is the beginning of initiation. It's the deliberate disconnection from routines, people, and situations that were built for a you that no longer exists. Why do you feel disconnected? Because your soul has already cut the wires. It's your mind that insists on holding the loose ends, hoping the power will flow again. But the power plant has moved. The source of your strength, your identity, no longer comes from outside. It's being activated from within. And this process requires a period of recalibration, silence, where the old system is shut down so the new one can boot up without interference. Every moment of boredom, every instant of loneliness, every second of uncertainty in this void is not a punishment. It is a blessing. It is the universe giving you the most precious gift of all, the space to become who you truly are. The proof that the change has already begun is the discomfort itself. It's your old reality's desperate attempt to pull you back. It will use its most effective weapons: comfort, familiarity, guilt, and fear. The egoic mind, the guardian of your past identity, will whisper in your ear, "Who do you think you are? This is dangerous. You're going to lose everything. Go back where it was safe." This pullback is a good sign. It confirms you're moving. The tide only feels strong when you're swimming away from the shore. Your only task is to keep moving internally until the outside world has no choice but to rearrange itself around your new vibrational signature. In this process, relationships become the most intense testing ground. The people around you, who were once a reflection of who you were, may not understand. Your silence may feel like rejection, your change like betrayal, and their reaction is not a judgment on you, but a confirmation of your frequency shift. You have become a tuning fork vibrating at a different note, and the dissonance with those still vibrating at the old note becomes audible, palpable. It is crucial to understand this. Not everyone will join you on your journey, and that is not a mistake, not a failure. not a tragedy. It's physics. It's the law of vibrational resonance. Birds of a feather flock together. When you change your energetic feathers, you will inevitably seek a new flock. A silent, profound grief emerges, not for the people themselves, but for the version of you that existed in relation to them. You mourn the ease, the simplicity of the old fits. You cry for the person who was easily understood, who belonged without effort. This is the universe clearing the ground, removing what is no longer compatible with the foundation of your new self. Every silent goodbye, every subtle distancing is an act of love from the universe to your soul, freeing you to fly at altitudes your old company could not reach. And then comes the test of courage, the courage not to shrink. As your inner light intensifies, it will inevitably illuminate the shadows of those around you. Others may react with fear, with judgment, with concern. The phrase, "you've changed," will be uttered, perhaps not with admiration, but with a tone of accusation. Understand that your evolution acts as a mirror. It activates in others the fears, insecurities, and unrealized dreams they keep dormant. They aren't reacting to you. They are reacting to the reflection of their own potential freedom, a freedom that terrifies them. The call here is to be unshakable. Do not dim your light to make others more comfortable. Do not apologize for your expansion. You must stop explaining, justifying, or defending your journey to an audience that doesn't have the script to your play. You become a silent guardian of your own flame, and there is immense power in this. By stopping the energy leak of seeking approval, you concentrate it. You become a center of gravity, and in this state of quiet sovereignty, synchronicities accelerate, doors open, and the right people and opportunities, the ones that resonate with your new frequency, are drawn into your orbit effortlessly. Your only job is to be. The universe will handle the delivery. To complete this transition, you must make peace with your past, but not through forced forgiveness or forgetfulness. You must revisit and reframe it. Your past was not a mistake. It was a perfectly orchestrated vibrational training ground. Every disillusionment, every heartbreak, every humiliating failure, it was all an initiation. They were contrasts carefully selected by the universe to help you calibrate your frequency. How would you know peace if you had not known chaos? How would you recognize freedom if you hadn't felt the weight of chains? Your scars are not marks of damage. They are maps of wisdom. Your mistakes were not moral failures. They were practical lessons in quantum physics. Nothing, absolutely nothing, was wasted. Every no you received protected you from a path that wasn't yours. What you may have called a breakdown or rock bottom was not a ruin. It was a deconstruction. It was the demolition of a prison you had mistaken for a home. Look back not with regret, but with reverence. You weren't a victim of circumstance. You were an apprentice in a highly advanced mystery school, and you have graduated with honors. So how does the future communicate? It whispers. It sends prompts. The prompt from your new timeline is one of the most subtle yet powerful forces in the universe. It arrives as a sudden, unexplainable desire to visit a new place, to learn a random skill, to reconnect with a forgotten person. The dissatisfaction you feel is resonance. It is your body and soul feeling the magnetic pull of your fullest version, a version that already exists, complete and victorious in the quantum field. And that version is calling you home. Frequencies that are honored are amplified. When you get a small nudge to do something different, to walk through a park, to read about a new topic, to say no to an old obligation, and you honor that nudge, you send a signal to the universe. You say, I'm listening, I'm ready, and the universe responds by turning up the volume. The tiny whisper becomes a conversation. The conversation becomes a flow of synchronicities. The great revelation is that it's not the big, dramatic actions that change your reality. It's the small, internal adjustments, the choice to honor your energy instead of pleasing someone else. Each tiny internal shift creates a massive ripple in the quantum field, realigning your outer trajectory by resonance in a way brute force never could. And so, you arrive at the final gateway, the threshold between your old reality and your new one. And it is here, right on the border, that fear manifests in its most intense form. This fear is not a warning of real danger. It is a proximity alarm. It tells you that you are close, so very close, to the change you have longed for. It is the last guardian at the gate. It is your ego, the algorithm of your old identity, making one last desperate attempt to maintain control. Fear is the membrane between dimensions. It seems thick, solid, impenetrable, but it was made to be walked through. The moment you face it with presence, with trust, it dissolves. Your body, your emotions, even your sleep may feel unstable here. Do not be alarmed. You are recalibrating. The transition does not require absolute certainty. It requires only two things: presence in the now and trust in the process. True spiritual maturity is the ability to hold the vibration of your accomplished desire before there is any visible evidence in the 3D world. It's feeling loved before the partner appears. It's feeling prosperous before the money arrives. It's feeling at peace in the middle of the storm. It is knowing, with a certainty that transcends logic, that what you have declared as yours in the unseen world is already a done deal. You simply walk, breathe, and live from that certainty, allowing physical reality to catch up. And so, we arrive at the final invitation, the great remembrance. The change is not coming. It already happened. The moment you felt that first whisper, the instant you recognized the void, not as an end, but as a beginning. By absorbing this message, you have not just watched a video, you have participated in an activation. You have anchored a frequency in your own consciousness, a frequency that will now radiate into every aspect of your life. Your future self is not waiting for you somewhere down the road. It is here, now, celebrating your courage for saying yes. Yes to the unknown. Yes to your own soul. Yes to the truth that pulses in your heart. The journey was never about struggle. It was, and always will be, about tuning in, about remembering, about returning to the primary vibration of who you have always been, beneath all the noise. And now, in the silence that follows, what is the first whisper you will choose to honor?